Michael Grange from Sportsnet. Whenever you're ready. Over here, Klay. Defensively, you looked like you were pretty successful in limiting Kawhi Leonard. What was your thinking or strategy regarding that, and how do you think the Raptors were able to take advantage of that, of whatever that strategy was?
I mean, Kawhi didn't have his best game to standards, but other guys stepped up. I mean, Siakam obviously had the game of his playoff life. Give him credit, running the floor. So we'll have to get back on defense next game and really limit their transition points, make them beat us in the half court. And yeah, we did a good job limiting Kawhi, but it's not Kawhi Leonard, and it's the Raptors. So we'll go back to the drawing board and see what we can do better for Sunday.
Thank you.
Other questions? Second row here on the left to Mark.
Klay, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Steve mentioned that you guys are not that familiar with the Raptors. You don't see them a lot. How surprising was what Siakam's athleticism enabled him to do in transition tonight?
I mean, he's very long and athletic. He's one of the better finishers in the paint in the game. So I know we'll step up with the challenge on Sunday to limit his opportunities, which a lot of them came in transition because he was sprinting the floor. But yeah, we're not very familiar with this team, but that's no excuse. You know, it's still got to come out here, and our goal was to get one, and it's still on the table for us. So I know we'll respond like the champions we are.
Let's take you through game one. What an incredible atmosphere inside and out Scotiabank Arena.
My man Drake, I was disappointed in Drake. He was too quiet tonight.
But he goes with the Del Curry retro jersey, which is pretty cool. Is Steph playing?
I think it was funny, but I want him jumping around and everything.
Try to keep his seats.
Now listen, listen, Drake got diplomatic immunity. Stop it.
That might have been a sign of things to come. Marc Gasol had a couple of threes where he had about 10 minutes to shoot.
You know, interesting. Well, that when you double stars, that's what happens.
Pascal Siakam gets his night rolling.
And we talked before the game, Matt. We talked about how Gasol would come out, Grant, and be able to knock down threes. He would have time. We thought Danny Green would play well, and they did. And we knew that Golden State, we would see a lot of Klay and Steph, and we hoped that Cousins would play well.
Well, we spent a lot of time talking about what role he would have, how many minutes he would play. The answers were he played 4 minutes at the beginning of the second and fourth quarters, only took a couple of shots, had that nice assist to Klay Thompson, and they were fine when he was on the floor against the other bench unit, but not an impactful performance in any way.
Well, and defensively, they went at him. Toronto
they
put
did
him
do
in
that,
screen and roll when Cousins was on the floor.
Gasol?
You know, Matt, I told you before the game, it was going to come down to the role players. This is very simple. Siakam, Gasol, Danny Green, Fred VanVleet, difference in the game, easily.
Kevin Durant here in Toronto. Encouragement for his guys as they headed out for the second half. Warriors did win the third quarter. It wasn't a classic Warriors third quarter, but they did win it by 3. Meanwhile, Pascal Siakam just wasn't missing.
Well, these are called layups, Matt. You shouldn't miss those. I can make those.
Well, layups or not, he wasn't missing.
Oh.
And I thought the double team on Klay and Steph, at the end of the game, you could see it started wearing on them, and they were looking for others to step up and make plays, but it was just too much Siakam. You know, every time he got a mismatch, he started making shots, hook shots, layups, left-hand shots.
Whatever this is.
He just had it going. He really
behind
had it
the
going.
head?
Yes.
Is that one, Chuck, does that one do anything for you?
Oh, that was just nice. But I will say this, and we were talking about it down low. This is by far and away the worst Warrior bench during their run.
Kawhi had 23 on the night. Late, Fred VanVleet. Boy, has he had a week.
Yeah.
Found his shooting touch.
Had a baby.
Had a baby. He had 15 off the bench tonight. Everything going his way.
I didn't even know he
was
was
last 4 games. Draymond Green finds Iguodala for the floater here, but after the play, watch Iguodala grab that left leg. No word from Steve Kerr You heard a moment ago he was asked about Iguodala's condition, and no update to this point. Obviously, just minutes after the game, but that's
played
something
a
to
lot
watch.
of minutes in these playoffs. He's not a young guy anymore.
And he was coming off an injury as well. He also had that calf injury. Siakam misses and makes 14 of 17 from the field, 32 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. Kyle Lowry with the proverbial icing on the cake. Drake and Draymond, we're talking, just talking.
Yeah, Drake get the last laugh. You don't get to talk back to the guys if you're losing. You only when you win.
Yeah, it could have been. Wasn't it Draymond who said something about you've never seen Drake play and he can't play and he can't shoot and I don't know.
But that's what happened. But no, actually, last series you heard the Milwaukee Bucks whining about Drake, which was stupid. Like I love with Steve Kerr. We're not.
Just wanted you to talk a little bit about that post-game scuffle between you and Drake.
You got a question about basketball? It wasn't really a scuffle because I didn't hit him and he didn't hit me, or I didn't push him and he didn't push me. We talked. We barked a little bit, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that a scuffle. Not really what I personally would consider a scuffle.
Thank you, Draymond.
That's it? That's it? That was it?
No, but that was a great answer.
It was. There was no scuffle.
No, there was no scuffle.
They're just talking.
They're friends.
They're talking.
I didn't like your last album. Yeah, I didn't like your last album.
Let's go back inside. Steph Curry at 34 tonight, but T and the Warriors find themselves down 0-1.
Questions, please. Go ahead. We're going to go to Monty, middle third row.
Monty Poole, NBC Sports Bay Area. Steph, what do you take from this game? This is the first time you guys have lost a game, one of a finals game. What are the good and bad things you take from this specific game?
Obviously the bad is we were down 0-1, but it's not the end of the world. New experiences for us all the way through, but we've proven our resiliency and ability to win games that we need to, and kind of answer the bell and learn from nights like tonight. So key call-outs or fast break points that they got, whether it was a make or a miss for us. A couple of sloppy turnovers that really didn't kill us, but just added to their momentum. And obviously Pascal had an amazing game. He pretty much found a bucket wherever he was at, and we got to do. All 5 guys got to do a better job of just being physical, being alert, and we'll be all right.
Left side in the back on the aisle. Go ahead, Nick.
And following up on that, this is the first time since Steve's been coached you guys dropped game 1. What do you think changes, if at all, from a mindset perspective for y'all dropping into an early hole like this?
Nothing really. It was a great atmosphere out there. They obviously played well, but our confidence remains the same. And block out all the noise about how, what these are first and this and that, and kind of the doubt around it, around our team. It's just come out and play hard, get game 2 and take it from there. So I like the vibe that I say it a lot, but I like the vibe that we had in the locker room in terms of everybody focusing on what they need to do differently, and the overall energy, bump that we need to have, and then go steal game 2.
Right side front row, Mark.
Hey, Steph, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. You guys have often said when things aren't necessarily going your way that Kevin Durant's, an obvious bailout that could make things easier. Besides his obvious scoring, what other things are more difficult without him tonight?
KD is an all-time great player on both ends of the floor, so I could sit here and talk for days about what he adds to our roster. We've obviously proven that when he's out, we can have guys step up, and that's going to be the case until he gets back. So for us, I think the first half,
after that 10-day break, it was a little bit sloppier than we might have thought, and a little bit more rust that we had to shake off. But we still had a chance to win in the fourth quarter, and they did what they're supposed to do on their home floor and close out the game. So I don't think it's that complicated. What we need to do differently is just play better, take away the easy buckets for them, and control the momentum a little bit better. And we're definitely capable of doing that, no matter who's out there on the floor.
We've always started the finals at home, but we're relishing this opportunity. At the end of the day, you got to come on the road and win one. Thanks. That's still the mission. We got to win one game on the road, and I like where we are. We didn't play very well tonight at all, and we still had a chance the entire game. It was a great atmosphere. Not that this is a team, a city, a country that hasn't seen the finals ever here. So, we expect it to be a great atmosphere, and it was. But we can still play better, and I know we will.
Left side on the outside to Tim.
Tim Kelly, The Athletic, kind of picking up on that. Draymond, obviously they're very impressive both ways, but did you feel like you guys might have not figured some things out, but worked some things out as this game went along? Did you feel better at the end than you did at the beginning?
Yeah, number one, we got a little conditioning back. Start that game, it was a bit rough after 9-10 days off, but I think we just got a better feel for them. Like I said, this is a team that we really haven't played. The first time we played them, Steph or myself didn't play. Second time we played them, Kawhi didn't play. So this is essentially our first time playing this team. Now that we got a feel for them, we got a tape to watch. We know what we can do better. I like where we're at, especially, like I said, the way the game went tonight. We always had a chance, and we didn't play very well at all. So, you leave this game feeling as good as you possibly can feel, knowing that, yeah, we lost, but I think we figured some things out, and we'll be better next game.
Draymond says, hey, Drake don't play in the game. That's what everybody should say. But listen, these guys know ain't nothing like having fun with a star like that.
Yeah,
it's awesome. And I just got mad the NBA told him to sit down. When he came downstairs, I said, yo, man, have fun at the game. You're one of the best performers in the world. Your team is in the NBA Finals. Have fun. Don't worry about the whining Milwaukee Bucks or what Adam Silver got to say. Have fun.
And you know what else is good, too, that I love from a fan standpoint. When you come to a game, your job, and we as players, we ask the fans
to give us everything.
To give us everything,
yes. Yeah.
And more importantly, distract the other team.
Sure.
Like make the other team think about you and not about us. So the more that Drake is making them think and talk and spend energy on him, it actually helps his team. And at the end of the day, that's what you want from your fans. You want your fans to distract the other team so the other team can be distracted and help you, and that's what Drake is doing.
I think it's
Spike Lee, right?
Yeah, I think it's beautiful in that he's arguably maybe one of the most successful, famous celebrities in the world.
We talking about Drake in the NBA Finals.
No, and he's here. He's passionate. He is a fan of his team. That's a beautiful thing to see.
No question.
Yeah, no doubt.
And this is
no argument about that.
Let me say that this is such a unique situation. We've never had in the NBA going against another country. Like normally,
we the North.
We the North. I mean, normally it's Detroit against Phoenix, Detroit against Boston. This dude was born in this country. He represents. He talks about the six. I didn't even know what the hell that was. He out here. What about the six? What about the six? And I know. And so he loves his country. He loves his team. He's employed as an ambassador by the team. Yep. And I'm glad. But man, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And listen, I mean, people know, and I don't hide it. Toronto is my favorite city in the world, other than Chicago. They got wonderful, wonderful people here. I think they got arguably the best general manager in the NBA. and it's going to be a great series. I can't wait for Game 2 Sunday.
Chuck, how do you feel about San Antonio?
Those some big ones down there. Some big ones down there, boy.
Yeah, why'd you have to do that?
I told you. I told you. You know, Victoria's a secret down there. They can't get in them little cute underwear. They got them big old bloomers down there. You know
boy. We're not even there.
That's your fault. That's your fault. You answered that question. That's your fault.
I mean, it was a layup. He just laid it out there.
I want to get to adjustments in a minute. Are we going inside? I think we're going inside. Let's hear from Draymond Green. Draymond Green there, who had his 5th triple-double of the postseason tonight. The Warriors are 3-2 in those games. He said, and I think we'd all agree, they didn't play well tonight. They did look maybe a step behind in the first quarter. I don't know if that's a conditioning thing or what, but in terms of tactical adjustments for Steve Kerr, what could be ahead in Game 2?
Well, first of all, I mean, I do agree with Draymond. Look, Toronto played an amazing game, shot the ball well, collective effort. Everyone contributed. Kawhi didn't have to do a whole lot, and they only won by 9 points.
Right.
I mean, this felt like they won by 25. The atmosphere and the way they were playing on the offensive end. As I said earlier, I think defensively you have to make some adjustments. You can't have all these guys going off for big nights. You know, maybe Kawhi, maybe Siakam, but Marc Gasol can't have 20 points. Danny Green, he was getting open shots. It wasn't like he was hitting contested three-pointers. He was getting open shots. So defensively, they're going to have to try to tighten things up a little bit, be a little bit more disciplined in terms of their rotations. You saw Steve Kerr talk about that in the press conference, and not give these guys open opportunities. And then transition defense, 24 fast break points for Toronto. Those are just easy baskets you're giving to them. I think part of that was bad offense, and it's tough. I mean, I keep going back to what Chuck said. You're playing 2 against 5.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes these guys who are not Klay and Steph, they're not even looking at the basket.
No.
They're wide open, and they're not even looking at the basket. So they're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. I think Draymond's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive, look for a shot, maybe attack, get in the paint. Offensively, it's going to be tough, though, because
they just don't have the weapons.
They just don't have those weapons that can do that.
Yeah. But Grant said something earlier. I'm not doubling Kawhi because if you double Kawhi, that gets Danny Green going. He had 3 threes. You get Marc Gasol. He had 20 points. You get Van Vliet going. So Kawhi's going to have to beat me one-on-one. I want to see how good his legs are. That, to me, is really the only adjustment you can make. You're either going to play him head up or you're going to double. And when you double, you get those other guys going. And on the other end, I don't know where they're going to get the points from. I just don't know where they're going to get the points from. Draymond, he's a 16, 18. He has a great offensive game.
Scoring-wise, yeah.
Scoring-wise. But you look at these guys, I just don't see them scoring enough points. I mean, you're hoping for Cousins, but because you're going to have to score 105 points to win NBA games the way the game is played today. I mean, you're going to have to score 105 points minimum, I think. I mean, because you're playing against arguably one of the best defensive teams in the league. So it's going to be very interesting the next 6 games.
Charles, I'm going to go back to your Kawhi Leonard point about not doubling.
Yeah.
And why that could be a problem for Golden State. And the reason why it could is because either you're going to play Klay on them or you're going to put Draymond on them.
Yeah.
And as a post player, mid-range player, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to get one of them in foul trouble.
No question.
Who's ever guarding you, right? In the first quarter, that guy's going to have 2 fouls, and he's going to be out of the game. Yeah. So if you don't double Leonard, right, and you play him with Draymond or Klay, one of them is going to be off the floor early in the first quarter because that would be your strategy, correct?
Well, this is what I would do. This is what I would try to do. I'm going to put Iguodala on the bench for the simple reason I'm getting nothing from the bench. And especially if I'm on double Kawhi, what good is me using my best defender if I'm on double? That makes no sense. So I'm going to put Iguodala on the bench. I'm going to start McKinney. He's a young kid who's got a great body. We don't care if he gets in foul trouble. Just make Kawhi work. Then I probably put Jerebko out there too. I'm putting guys out there that says, hey, just work your ass off, work him, make him work hard. Yeah. He's going to get 25, We can't have him get 35 to 40 like he did the last couple series. But I'm going to see if his legs are good. Try not to get him fouled, but your number one goal is to be very physical with him and use your fouls diligently.
Okay, now I'm gonna come back to you and Grant. When you see a guy like that guarding you,
no. But I mean, but Isaiah, to your point, I mean, it reminds me of back in my Phoenix days when we used to play the Lakers, and our strategy was let's play Kobe, let's not foul him, let's play him one-on-one. If he goes for 40 or 50,
that is not enough.
We'll live with that.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And we'll just shut everybody else down. But we're not going to get him on the free throw line, make him and take tough shots. The problem was Lamar would get 20 and Powell would get 20 and Kobe would get 40 on me.
But see,
we would lose.
But to pick it back on your suggestion, you said it first, that's going to have, Kawhi, 5 for 14. If somebody had told us before the game, Kawhi was going to go 5 for 14 and only have 23. We said, the Warriors going to win the game. What happened this game, you got Siakam 32. You got Gasol 20. Danny Green, you can live with 11. Van Fleet had 15. That's the reason they won the game.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. Plain and simple. You cannot have Lamar and Pau Gasol in your day getting those points.
So I guess the counter argument would be, can those other Raptor guys do that 3 more times in this series?
Yes, they can. Because this is what we've seen against Milwaukee. What Kawhi started doing, and he figured it out early in the Milwaukee series.
Yes.
After that 40-point game, Milwaukee started double-teaming him. Mm-hmm. And you would see Kawhi just drive the basketball, not even looking to score, but kicking out. And Kawhi became a facilitator, and he became a decoy, and he was okay being a decoy. And what that did is that got all these other guys involved, and not only did it get them involved, but it got their confidence. And this game 1, they even got more confident that this is the way they can play and this is the way they can win.
He had a career on 9 assists in that game 5 against Milwaukee.
But you go back, and I'm picking back on Isaiah's point, and we're talking about it. The whole Milwaukee series changed. Because we were like, why are they still doubling Kawhi? He labored with his legs. Mm-hmm. And you could see, he was like, these dummies are doubling me. I'm going to just make a move. They're going to double me. And then think it. Going back to game 3, Van Fleet got going. Kyle Lowry got going. Pau Gasol got going. And now they've been on fire since game 3. But I'm not doubling Kawhi. Especially, like I say, he's going to have to prove to me both his legs are good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put 2 bodies on him who athletic and physical and try to wear him down.
I think the point about his legs is a really good one because he was laboring in that Milwaukee series. You saw him, even though he kind of gutted it out, you saw a couple of times when it was difficult for him to get off the floor to even get to the free throw line.
And his usage rate, I mean, whether he's healthy or not, just his usage rate during this postseason.
Yes.
I mean, what he's had to do and the ball in his hands, I agree. Make him
go.
Make him beat you.
Yep.
You know, I was sitting out on the floor tonight watching the game with Daniel.
We saw you on TV.
But I just wanted to say that. But watching Kawhi up close, right?
Yeah.
And both of you will understand what I'm saying when I say this. He looks like, you know, when you had that real bad tendonitis on that knee.
Yeah.
And you come down wrong, you're like,
Yeah.
And it looks to me more like it could be some of that going on with that tendon. And you know how you have to hop it off but you get right back into it, but it stings so bad.
I got a question for you, too.
Yes.
I'm thinking back in your playing days, and I was in that realm, too, and Grant, I think, called us later. When you played a guy like Bernard King, y'all had some great battles. Did y'all have a strategy where y'all were like, we going to let him get his and stop the rest of the guys?
We had to double team Bernard King. We couldn't do that with him because he was so efficient.
Okay.
So even when we double team, if you look back at Bernard King, in his 40-point games, he was going 16 for 22.
Yeah.
Right? 8 for 8 from
without
the foul
threes,
line.
by the way.
Yeah, and so he was so efficient, he wasn't missing. And I believe if you don't double team Kawhi, just like yourself, just like a Bernard King, in this series on the box, he's too big and strong for Klay and those guys guarding him on the box.
By the way, we saw that scene at the end of the game where Draymond Green was
kind of talking it out with Drake there. He was asked about that a few minutes ago inside. Let's hear what he had to say.